Good morning. It's Monday, and this is the Work Podcast. I'm Erika. We're going to do today a little bit differently. I'm recording this on Friday afternoon. We are in the middle of a mega reboot of the company, and I thought it would be best to handle it directly and head on and to talk about how we got here and why we're here, and then what happens next, and then to talk a little bit about a reduction in force and what that means for people and just how that process goes down and what that feels like inside of a company. And then most importantly, what it feels like for the people involved. I've been laid off. It is a gutting, decimating experience. And so my biggest ask is, even if you don't listen to this, if you are looking for great talent, there are great talent on the market today from Food52 and Schoolhouse, and there are incredibly special people who gave a lot and who have so much more to give, and giving those people a chance would be incredible. So that's my biggest ask from today's episode. So I've been at Food52 almost a year. I joined last April, and I think one of the biggest mistakes I've made in the last year was thinking that I could outrun a bunch of legacy problems. And I think that was naive. I think it was a little bit arrogant. And I also think it was optimistic. And what I really was endeavoring to do was to bring back the Food52 brand, to bring back the curation of a beautiful shop, to grow a media business, to bring life back into the building, to reignite a culture, to reestablish dance, to find new avenues for sales, to get Schoolhouse invested in and up and running with energy, to simplify the business, to streamline the number of SKUs and the way we took those SKUs to market, to stop a really gunked up factory that was drowning in colorways and one-offs, and to move from made to order to made to stock. We endeavored to do so many things in the past year. And I think the biggest mistake was thinking we could pull that all off with mega overhead costs and mega tech problems and with no visibility into the data. And that was optimistic and a little bit foolish. And I don't regret anything from the last year. I actually got my hands so far into this business. We brought incredibly talented people into the company. We initiated and created so much, and so much of that was so great and really incredible. We launched an amazing collaboration with Claire V for Schoolhouse. We brought, I believe, 400 new designs to market. We ignited the Schoolhouse brand with Benchmade, which is a celebration of American-made design. We created a lot of really interesting marketing assets. We connected with a lot of consumers. We understood our consumers and talked about consumers in a way that hadn't been done before. And a lot of the same things were really also true at Food52. The brand came back alive. The curation once again became special. When I can remember walking the halls at Food52 last December, and it was a ghost town, and it was weird. And when you looked at the shop, it was also kind of strange and empty, and it didn't feel like this incredible brand that it is. And I was really hopeful and eager to be able to make a lot of progress against all those things at once. And I'm very proud of the team here and the progress they made against so many of those things and more. I also think we had way, way, way deeper challenges than we knew. I think people like gloss over and talk about an aging tech stack or a tech debt. And I think that sounds nice. I think having technology in 2025 that was built in 2014, it fucks you. Like it's impossible to get over. There is no amount of iterating or tweaking or enhancing or pixeling that will fix that. 78% of the bugs we have at the company are from what we call shop admin, which is really from the tech platform that underlies the Food52 business. When you look at the code base that it's written in, 20% of our engineers know that code base because nobody is learning or using that code base any longer. So those are massive challenges. There's no Google Analytics. There were no Google Analytics set up anywhere. So there was no visibility into the conversion funnel. And all of those things made it really, really difficult for people to have an eye on the prize. And to be honest, people to be able to do their jobs. There was a lot of manual process. Humans and people were at the epicenter of everything. People were moving spreadsheet to spreadsheet to spreadsheet. The math on the first one wasn't exactly right. It didn't match to the math on the second one, which contradicted the math on the third one. And as a result, it was a year of what are we doing and who's on first. And that makes it sound chaotic and negative. And it wasn't chaotic and negative, but it wasn't purposeful and productive the way it needs to be in the future. So I'm grateful for this past year. I made a ton of mistakes this past year. I think we all made mistakes this past year. I also think we did a lot of really great things that have gotten us to the point we are at today. The point we are at today is as follows, which is we have an incredible audience, 5 million women, people who are loyal and engaged and passionate, who are participating in our content, who are reading our recipes, who are delighting in our shop, who are opening our emails, who are thinking about lighting design and decor. We have an incredible audience and a brand in Food52 that is really, truly beloved. And if there's anything I've learned on the internet for the last 10 years is that it's very, very hard to build a brand at this point in time. You cannot build a brand the way you built a brand in 2014. And one of the most special things this company has is a beautiful brand in Food52 and a really loyal, engaged audience. What's even more incredible about this audience is that this audience is in the mindset of doing something in their home. It could be cooking, it could be entertaining, it could be home improvement, it could be organization, it could be about zenning out your space, it could be about inspirations and seasons and flavors and techniques and dishes. And what I really love about what we've created, both at Schoolhouse and at Food52, is that there is incredible design and there is a real beauty to that. Whether, I can't cook to save my life, but if I look at an Instagram post from Food52, I'm like, gosh, what a beautiful dish. I'm so happy looking at this, even though I have no hopes of achieving it. When I look at some of the Instagram we're doing for Schoolhouse and home tours and imagery and our partnerships with residential designers and commercial designers, I'm like, gosh, I want my home to be that beautiful. It's so aspirational. It's so interesting. It's incredible that I can get this and bring this into my own home. So we have an incredible audience. We have incredible brands. Schoolhouse is so timely. It's American designed. It's in large part American manufactured. If there is anything I've been thinking about seeing and feeling is the world is getting much smaller. The borders are getting much bigger. The distance in the world is feeling much greater. And I think people are looking for comfort and safety and warmth and feeling in their homes. And they're also looking to support brands that come from that place. And I think when you think about women in particular, and our customers are women, and not just women, but predominantly women, women make things happen. They make a world. They make environments. They make environments at schools and communities, in the workplace, and most certainly in homes. And that could be a rental apartment, or it could be a big mansion, or it could be a rustic farmhouse in between. Being able to have the privilege to bring beautiful design from incredible people here into those homes and having the opportunity to tell stories about them is what I came here for and is an immense luxury. And that is something that we have in spades. What we don't have in spades is a good way out of a large-scale dropship business at Food52. And what I mean by that is Food52 really since the very beginning operated as a marketplace. And that was smart. It was created by Amanda and Merrill. They had incredible perspective. There is no one who has taste like Amanda Hesser. And she was curating and picking items, and then she created a shop where you could get them. That is an awesome thing. If she hadn't done that, Food52 would be nowhere near where we are today. And that's one of the greatest gifts of having Amanda as part of this company, was that vision and foresight that the home cook was going to be really important, that content was a way to engage people and inspire people and also give opportunity to people to do things in their own home. The shop was really important to that. Creating 5-2 was a huge part of that. But what we're seeing is that when you look at the economics of a business where you don't hold inventory, where many of the items you feature can be found somewhere else, and when there is immense cost pressure, when you look at the dropship business, when you look at this marketplace shop, there's a couple really big risks to it. One is it gets too big and it doesn't mean something. So that's a big thing. And our shop is nowhere near that, but our shop was getting pretty big. If you look at the shop today, we have 32 cutting boards. That's not curated, right? Like that's not the right curated shop. That's not what Food52 was originally about. The bigger challenge though is when you look at margin, and you look at margin when you don't own the inventory, when you didn't create the product, when it's not your IP, and when the item is sold somewhere else for less or the same, it's a really, really, really tough way to run a business. And then you add all of the creative magic that we put on top of every item we feature and every story of the why behind the what. Those stories and that marketing were incredible. They're also really time and resource and financially expensive. And so as a result, the conclusion is that this is not a viable long-term business at this scale. We don't own the product, we don't own the design, and we also don't own the customer. And the customer can, in large part, find a lot of the things we're featuring somewhere else. And we're so lucky because our audience preferred to buy with Food52 because the brand is so incredible. But the reality is when you think about growing a company and you think about 5, 10, 15, 20, 30% growth year over year, it was not going to come from a large-scale dropship business. And so that fact, coupled with the fact that trying to grow a media business, trying to build a beautiful American design and home furnishings brand, trying to create new avenues of revenue, trying to build a trade sales operation and a partnership operation, trying to do all those things at once with very little money and with a lot of technology challenges and a lot of structural challenges, something had to give. And what's giving is that large dropship marketplace. So Food52 will return to a really small curated shop. This means we had to say goodbye to a lot of phenomenally talented and really special people who did an immense amount of work and everything we asked and more to make that possible. And that sucks. Like there's no way around it. It's not fair. You can argue if it's not right. It's really just the reality, but it just sucks no matter what way you cut it. But what I'm really excited about is when you take this audience, you take the idea and ability to tell stories around people and communities and design and color and home and entertaining and lifestyle, and you couple that with a brand that is renowned for lighting design and becoming increasingly known for upholstery and print and pattern, it opens up the world to be able to do something really, really incredible. And that's where the company will focus going forward. We will focus on Schoolhouse as an American design brand in the home space, and we will focus on content targeted to women in the arena of home and in in and around the topics of home and food and life. And those things combined together make this a really exciting company. When you look at most media is, it's an authority. It's someone telling you this is the way something should look and this is what something should be. There's not a lot of room for that in the world anymore. The second is there's a huge saturation of influencers, right? It's all individual personalities and voices on the internet. We have something that's very different, is we will have a combination of influencers and personalities. We will also feature a lot of regular women. I think, when I think about our space, I love Arc Digest. I love reading about Jennifer Garner's house. I'm drooling over her dog and the cat and the bakery station. But the reality is, I know so many women who have equally fun and quirky and beautiful and special homes, who cook things that are equally compelling and special and magical and warm and have so much feeling and character. I want to tell those stories. And I want to tell those stories and to showcase this little beautiful design brand called Schoolhouse and how that design fits in so many of those homes. And what's different about what we will bring to bear is that we have a very robust and engaged audience. That audience loves these brands. That audience is in the mindset of her home and her life, and she's intending to buy. And when you look at all the research right now, you look at something came out like 2 weeks ago that the top 3% of the population in the US, so those are people that make, I think, $250,000 or more, will drive 50% of all the consumer spending. The second thing, I read something on Instagram yesterday, and it was talking about how modern luxury is nostalgia. When you think about nostalgia, when you think about that 3% of the population that wants to spend, all of that, really not all of it, but a large part of it is driven by women. And we will have an audience of women, whether you're working with us as a partner in residential or commercial trade, or we're featuring your home, or we're delighting you in our shop. And we will take a platform where we are delivering to people products that are beautiful, that are well-designed, that are quality, that are from America and made and designed in America. And we will tell those stories, and we will create this virtual flywheel of a media content or a content to commerce company that brings both of those things to bear. So in summary, here's where I would leave this. One is, I'm really bullish about the future. I am grateful for everything we've learned in the past year. I talk about this all the time. I think failure is a great teacher in so many ways. And I think I'll do an episode soon on like all the things I learned. Saying no instead of saying yes, getting visibility into something before you endeavor to change it, not doing so many things at once. Like there's a whole bunch of things that I learned in the process of getting our hands and my hands into this. I'm really bullish on Schoolhouse, and I'm obviously very bullish on media, and I'm passionate about both, and I'm really excited about what you will see come out of this company. I think it's nothing you've seen yet. I also have so much heart for all the change we had to make and all the impact this has had, especially on people. And my biggest ask to what I said at the beginning is, if you are looking for people, if you know someone who needs a great engineer or a merchandiser or a marketer or a graphic designer or a sales ops person, there are incredible people who have come out of Schoolhouse and Food52 who will make great assets to your organization. And then the last piece is change is constant. Like life is fluid, work is fluid, everything is what you make of it, and it's all a choice. And hard choices are tough and they can suck to make. but it's actually the best thing you can do instead of not doing anything or not doing what needs to happen. And I feel so good about going through the process of what needed to happen. I think a lot of shit comes out of that. People are angry. People are confused. People are pissed. People are hurt. People are sad. All of those emotions are important and should be acknowledged and honored. I also think this is an incredible opportunity for everyone. Like, there would be nothing worse than for Food52 and Schoolhouse to continue on the status quo. Truly nothing worse. And also, I think that's true of people in their careers, which is there's nothing worse than doing something that you don't think is working and not doing what you really believe in or making the change you need to make to achieve what you really believe in. And I think that's true of people. I think that's true of businesses. I think that's true of strategies. And what you're seeing right now in real time, which is the whole impetus for this show, is a real-time look at something that's happening, is those kind of decisions being made and that process being worked through and felt through and committed to. So that's the news. Big, beautiful audience, Schoolhouse to the future, and beautiful, incredible, bright, mix beats the match, American design, lighting with the best names on the planet, and that casts the color and has the click of the dial that will delight. Rugs and blankets and bedding and all things that bring comfort to and beauty to your home. Check out Schoolhouse if you hadn't. A bright, little, delightful Food52 shop and a big, beautiful content experience mapped to home, food, and life. And then all sorts of really incredibly talented people who will help bring all of this to life. People who are here now, people who aren't here yet, people who will be part of this in the future. And then lastly, and most importantly, a huge thank you to everybody who's been part of this journey and who's made this company into what it is today. And more importantly, what it will be tomorrow, and to getting out there and finding what this next mission and chapter looks like, or what the next chapter in all those careers looks like. And I think both are hopeful and exciting and promising, and they will all have pitfalls. There will be mistakes and failure and disasters at every turn, but there'll be also a lot of optimism and accomplishment and belief and fulfillment that comes with that. And I believe that we can do that for our customers. I believe we can do that for our partners. I believe we can do that for our team here. And that's my greatest hope for everyone to do for themselves.